Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Dugout. It's now the season of white ball. Yes, it's the season to be jolly, but we don't feel the jolliness here. One in Delhi NCR, it's the stifling pollution which is absolutely ensuring your life gets totally worn down. And second, the dark, gloomy cloud of a whitewash.
Again.
That doesn't go away at this stage. But this is the Dugout. We want to begin with something very, very positive. When you're in Ranchi, where the first ODI is going to take place between India and South Africa, you don't want to miss one particular thing.
One particular venue, let's say.
Yes. You don't want to miss one particular venue, one particular individual, one particular place. And that is number 7.
MS Dhoni's farmhouse.
Thala for a reason indeed, because if there is one thing that has given social media and all the people of India a lot of joy and glee amidst this doom and gloom that is there in Indian cricket, MS Dhoni and that team bonding session. Man, oh man, I mean, it had so many viral moments. It had the team there, Virat Kohli was there, and there was something special for Virat which we will play out pretty shortly. But a team bonding session with MS Dhoni, and yes, there is that moment which has gone viral on social media.
Exactly. You've got Dhoni actually driving Kohli back out. It's one thing that Kohli arrived because, it was a team dinner. Everyone turned up. But the fact that Dhoni actually personally took out one of his cars to drive Kohli back to the team hotel, special level of bonding there.
Special level. I mean, look at it. When was the last time Dhoni did something like this? I can't recollect, and this is the new side. Every year we want to see something new. MS Dhoni doesn't fail to surprise us. Oh, what a car. And look at the passenger and look at the driver. You got class, pedigree, legend, whatever you want to call it, adjectives.
2 great former captains.
2 greats and 2 former captains indeed. Ouch, that former captain thing will hurt you. But this is not the first time, right, Shane? Like Dhoni and Kohli, they share a very deep mutual respect. Because I remember in one particular instance, Kohli had said that when I was down, the one person who picked up my call was an MS Dhoni.
Yeah, I remember that comment. I think it came after he ended his 100 drought. I think it came after the Asia Cup. Remember Afghanistan? Yes. He scored that 100. It was a meaningless game because you were out anyway, but he scored that 100. And afterwards, I remember him speaking out and saying that, yes, that one of the few people who actually did bother checking up on me with everything was, of course, MS. And we know that MS and Virat do share a very close relationship. They were, of course, predecessor and successor. Basically, Kohli's entire captaincy career was almost mentored by Dhoni. So there was definitely a lot of mutual respect, care, and a deep friendship that comes about because Dhoni is not just going to be taking out his car for anyone. We know that much. Yeah. It was a nice thing to see that in many ways.
Yeah, but that car, I mean, I'm telling you, which I'm very bad at cars, which is...
Even I can't quite tell from the limited visuals we have, but it's a nice one indeed because I don't think he would have taken out one of his less good ones to drive this thing. So I can't see anything, nothing whatsoever. It's a good looker, that car, but I can't see any sign symbol, nothing. So I'll not speculate.
Exactly. So Dhoni and Kohli, this moment has really, really gone viral, and it's one of the reasons why social media is absolutely going gung-ho over this whole bit. And the team dinner, I mean, let's make one thing clear. It's not, I think, the first time Dhoni has had team dinners. I think he's had it in the past also. I think one instance, I think I thought I spotted a Kedar Jadhav in one occasion.
Yeah, I mean, see, Dhoni has been renowned. You remember, even when he was captain, it was always said that, anyone could go to his dressing room and you'd be having food, breaking bread, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, even now his playing days, active playing days are all but over. But that tradition continuing on should surprise, let's face it, absolutely no one at this point. Yep. So this is not new for him. I just have one interesting question for you, Siddharth. Was the head coach there?
Ooh, the head coach in Gautam Gambhir. Well,
because I've seen
our birdie in Ranchi, and also whatever we can spot on social media.
I haven't seen him.
Figure of Gautam Gambhir anywhere in that team bonding. And anyway, I think it was in Guwahati where, Shane, you had run the story where Gambhir was booed and Gambhir, hi, Gambhir. Was it
Yes,
Guwahati?
That was Guwahati. It was after the test match. It was at the end of the test match. So you could see the players and the support staff were standing at the boundary line. That one fan was heckling, and a lot of people actually joined in to the point where Siraj was basically asking the fan to stay quiet. Sudhanshu Kotak went up and had. It was a viral sort of this thing. He had a bit of an argument with him, saying, "What are you doing? This, that." So yeah, that had happened, and that was Ranchi. It was Guwahati. A lot of people were confused because there were people who were asking me, "Are you sure that's from the second test?" I said, "Yeah, it is from the second test because if you see the venue, also, it's not. This is not Kolkata.
Yeah.
It was in Kolkata. It was definitely.
If it was hills in the background, then it is Barsapara.
Exactly. So this was in Guwahati itself, and you could tell because the video that was going viral, a lot of people had also written that this was the second test. It was not the first test. And anyway, there would have been no reason to boo him after the first test.
Exactly.
So the real angst came after you lost the series. So,
but coming back to your question, Gambhir not been in that team dinner session with MS Dhoni. See, when you look at it, is there a big enmity that is there between MS Dhoni and Gautam Gambhir for all the comments that Gambhir has made? Starting with 1-6 did not win you that 2011 World Cup final. Then several other things. I mean, he was the guy who ensured Dhoni's game against spin would be very, very ordinary in the IPL. I mean, look at the field that he set.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was Gambhir, the captain in the IPL, who brutally exposed how poor Dhoni could be against spin.
Yeah.
And see what he had done. He basically set a test field for him with Piyush Chawla bowling.
Yeah.
Piyush Chawla, good as a bowler he was, we knew he had one trick. And that was it. But that one trick was so effective, and Dhoni so limited against spin by that point. And I think that was 2017.
Yeah.
So because he was in the RPSG colors.
Yes,
so it was 2017, and you had a test field set. After that, I don't think Dhoni's game against spin has been the same. And in fact, the trend is that he tends to struggle more against the KKR spinners.
Yeah.
Sunil in particular, he never was able to hit a boundary off until I think 23.
Yeah.
And Varun Chakravarti has made it a habit of getting him out bowled.
Correct.
So that was something that Gautam exposed one. But
and even in that LSG was a CSK game, he had won, that particular bit at...
I'd never seen Gambhir didn't even celebrate IPL wins like that. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I think there is, I always kind of figured, I know a lot of people said that, I remember there were visuals of them talking in between the IPL as well. See, I think there's a lot of water under the bridge in terms of, there's a lot that are there in terms of history. I don't think they're ever going to be best friends. I don't think there's an enmity, but I also do think that they're not exactly going to be sending each other Christmas cards.
So it is more on the Yuvraj Dhoni bit. Remember, they also had a bit of a iffy relationship. I know that Yuvraj's father often made very objectionable comments against him.
For that matter, I think I dare say even the kind of relationship, a difficult relationship that Harbhajan later on had with him. He's made some public comments about...
Viru also maybe against Dhoni.
Dhoni, I think there was that generation, that particular generation, because he also ended up phasing out slowly but surely a lot of them. It's always been kind of mixed in terms of the relation he's had.
But let me straight up on record on Sports Today say that there is an enmity between Gambhir and Dhoni. There is nothing like that. It is all social media speculation. But I don't know, unless there is another visual or something that comes. For whatever visuals we have gotten, the measly amount of visuals that we have got, I think I couldn't spot a Gautam Gambhir.
Yeah, I mean, we spotted Rohit arriving in Ranchi, which makes sense.
I think we also had a Rishabh Pant also.
Yes, Rishabh Pant. Again, we know that Pant and Dhoni share a very close relationship in that sense. So, no real surprise
and pupil.
There. Exactly. So, these two also. And yeah, I did not spot Gambhir. And again, I've also checked out social media and I've been checking and... No, I didn't see Gambhir. They're very interesting. And I think it just adds more, unfortunately, to the spotlight, the uncomfortable spotlight that is already there on Gambhir. I mean, let's face facts. I don't think he would have expected this to be the situation 1 year into his reign. And let's be fair, it's been about a year because, again, the first test series or the first proper series that he had in charge was the Bangladesh test series.
Yeah,
that was August. You won that. But after that, you've had 3 low points in Test cricket. You got whitewashed by New Zealand. You were thrashed in the BGT. And then you ended up getting whitewashed against South Africa also.
Yeah, 5 out of 7 home tests that you lost. That 2 wins came against the West Indies.
And 2 against Bangladesh also.
Yeah, so 9. You lost 5 out of 9. So 4 wins and 5 losses.
That's not good. That's not a good home record.
But Gambhir will be a very lucky man if he holds on to the test thing, because I don't know which individual can keep his job after 2 home whitewashes.
But he is keeping his job.
He is.
He's
a very lucky man.
We've reported that yesterday, and I quite frankly found it surprising myself. I'm like, how is that possible that he is keeping his job still in Test cricket? I have no problem with Gambhir, the white ball coach. But I'm sorry, back-to-back whitewashes at home. Home. Should make any coach's position untenable.
Yep.
It should.
But then see, this was the ideal time, because now you're not playing a test for 8-9 months.
Exactly.
The next test is in Sri Lanka. You're in the middle of the WTC.
Yeah, now is the time. You had to take drastic action now to try and salvage your WTC, which, by the way, is very tough. I mean, just to indulge in some numbers, you have 9 tests left. Okay,
Yeah.
2 against Sri Lanka, 2 against New Zealand, and then you've got 5 against Australia.
Yeah.
I think, and this is just a basic estimation, you would need a percentile points of anything between like 58 to 64
64,
types.
correct.
60, at least above 60 to be sure.
Sure.
India made it with 58 in 2023. But that was also a time when the competition was basically between 2 teams. Right now, Australia, South Africa are already miles ahead. So you are basically in a 3-way fight for that final. I think they need above 60. But to get to above 60, you know what they have to do? They'll have to win, I think, they've got 9 tests. They'll have to win, I think, 6 of their 9 tests.
Oh, and it's 2 against New Zealand away.
I think more. In fact, more. You perhaps need to win 7. I think you need to win 7 of your 9 tests.
You're going to face spinning encounters in Galle. You're going to face spinning encounters in Colombo.
Yeah.
You'll face off in Wellington and Hagley Oval, where you're going to get green seaming wickets. And I don't think you have it in you to whitewash Australia final.
No. And that might not be enough if you lose the next 4 tests. It might not. You need, as I said, I think you need 6 or 7 wins out of 9. And see how bad that's made the situation, because these 2 tests were home tests. If you had won these, you'd still be looking at maybe 5 wins in the next 9, which is realistically possible.
Yeah.
Even Australia at home you can beat. But if you have to win 7 out of 9, it's already looking so bleak.
I know. You 2-2, 2-0, 0-2. So you have lost 4-1-4 in this WTC cycle already.
Yeah.
Out of 10 tests, if I'm not mistaken. No, 9 tests.
Yeah,
1
9.
was a draw.
No, so 5 tests you played against England, 2 against West Indies, that's 7, and 2 against South Africa. So 9 tests.
So you have won 4, lost 4, 1 draw. Not good at all. So that is where our next question is. With Gambhir not there in the team bonding bit, which we are assuming because of the visuals, we couldn't find him.
Yeah, and see, this might very well be a case. It could be very well a case of us overreading. Could very well be that Dhoni just wanted to have one team dinner with the players. I didn't see any other coach emerging there also. So
neither Sitanshu
well,
was there, neither anybody else was there.
No tenders, no Mornays, no one. Yeah. There was no one. It could very well be just a team thing. And let's be fair, a lot of the guys in the team right now did come through either in the peak of Dhoni's time or towards the latter parts of when Dhoni was still there, even if not as a captain. They would definitely revere him as a senior player. But it's still, even keeping that aside, tell me honestly, do you think this Indian dressing room, the ODI dressing room, is going to be any less awkward of a place, all things considered?
Look, let's first look at that 0-2 whitewash, okay? What happened after the 0-3 whitewash against New Zealand? There was a false hope of Perth, and then you suffered a loss in the BGT.
And then what happened? Heads rolled.
Now, you are coming off not just a 2-0 series whitewash at home, you lost the previous ODI series also to Australia. 1-2.
Correct. And remember, lest we forget, it was said very clearly after that particular series that shouldn't be celebrating a series loss.
Oh, but we'll come to that quote a bit later. Because see, now we'll be focusing on what is that 0-2 whitewash going to do. I think there'll be a deeper scar. Yeah. Gambhir will have to encounter a lot of questions. See, he may confront everything face to face. He's a blunt guy. We know how this goes. But I think that 0-2 whitewash is going to have a very deep impact in the ODI setup as well. Because see, now his position as coach is no longer, okay, let the BCCI do what it wants. So he's on thin ice. And his ODI numbers have also not been that great. His T20I numbers have been phenomenal. Yes, he's the same guy who won you the CT. He's the same guy who won you the Asia Cup. But let us be very honest about it. He's now heading into a major World T20 year. You only have 2 months to go. This whitewash and ODIs anyway is not the focus. It's only a focus because Rohit and Virat are coming back into the scheme of things.
And also because you have to remember, you have good relations with South Africa. So if you're calling them over or if you're going over, you would normally have a full tour, or what you call a full tour, wherein you're playing all 3 formats. So it's fair that you're playing 3 ODIs, but you're right. There is no relevancy of an ODI format right now. I'm not going to be looking at it for anything. I don't even care much how it is that Rohit and Virat performed in Australia. Yeah. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I will look at their form closer to the World Cup. And the World Cup at this point is still like about 11 months away. That's a long time still.
You mean the ODI World Cup?
Yeah, the ODI World Cup.
That's 23 months away.
Oh, yeah, that's 23 months away. It's 2027.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's a long time still. You've got little less than 2 years still to go. There's a lot of cricket to be played. There's a lot of tournaments. Remember, you'll have an Asia Cup again, which will also be this time in the ODI format, because that's how the trend is. So I don't think you're caring that much about ODIs. I think this bilateral series, pretty much, as you said, exists for 2 reasons. One each that we said. One is, as you're saying, to cash in on the Roko hype. Second is because, well, you have good relations with South Africa and you may as well just have a full tour. That's the extent of it.
But with that 2-0 whitewash and the comments, I'll come to those comments which Gambhir made after the Australia series. I mean, he spoke during the T20 series when it was about to end. And there, my goodness, he ruffled a lot of feathers with this comment, because, yes, it's right up on the screen when we are saying that Gautam Gambhir, in one of the interviews, he had mentioned, I will always remain happy with individual performance, but ultimately we lost the one-day series. I can never celebrate a series loss as a coach. See, he's fair in this. Yes, I will always remain happy with individual performance, but we lost the one-day series. So, yes, we can kind of celebrate Rohit's 221 runs, including a century and a 50. Virat coming back to form after 2 ducks. As a coach, this is where the problem arises. And it was a clear jibe. As a coach, I think it is my moral responsibility that we as a nation and we as individuals should never celebrate a series loss. Because what happened in Sydney, let's make one thing very clear. Rohit came back to form with 121. Virat made 74 great runs. India celebrated as if they had won not just the match, they had won the series. Let's be very honest. Social media was there. Oh, the good old days are back. We beat Australia comprehensively. Oh,
but you didn't.
If only that had happened, if that had happened, and all those kind
You
of things.
didn't beat anyone comprehensively. You won a consolation match. I don't understand this generation sometimes. Sorry, I don't want to come across as an old man yelling at a cloud. But I think context is key. I understand this. This is kind of like when we took revenge for the 2023 ODI World Cup final by beating them in a meaningless T20 series. That's not revenge.
No, it morphed one level further. You beat them in St. Lucia, 2024 T20 World Cup. No, even that was also not revenge.
Or then you took revenge by beating them in the Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? You are now not only crossing over in terms of different World Cups with the T20, you're now morphing genders as well. It's reached that point.
Yes.
I mean, come on, guys. I know gender's fluid and everything, but not to that degree. Please. Context is key. And even here, we're talking about, and see, that's also where I think these quotes now coming back and a lot of people mentioning them, I think it's becoming worse in hindsight, because he's also come out in that press conference and said that this is a transition. This is exactly how transitions are going to be. What that basically translates to is deal with it. But you can't deal with it. I'm sorry. I've seen test teams in transition. I've lived through multiple times. I mean, my cricket fandom started at around a time when India was actually going through a transition in some ways, because you remember that was the match fixing era. So you exactly. So I started watching, I think, around 2002-ish type. So that was basically the aftermath at that point in time. And I didn't know it. I know it with the benefit of hindsight and of reading up my history. I know that at that point in time, you basically had what? You had basically changed up the team. You brought in a new captain. You had to remove a few players. After that, I'd seen that team transition, not just from white ball cricket, but red ball cricket. Saurav Ganguly retired few years later from Test and in fact from international cricket. Few years after, you had Sachin Tendulkar, Dravid, Lakshman all walk away at more or less the same time. A year apart, all three of them walked away. Yeah, you had bad results even then. Those 4-0s came there, and in fact, those 4-0s came towards the fag end of these stalwarts' career. You were having a transition even back then, but you were still winning at home. And you were winning comfortably at home. That start, that transition there, the start of it, it started also a decade-long dominance in home conditions. So you were a top side at home. Even in the early 2000s, I remember that was the era where we as fans would shudder at the thoughts of away tours. Because you're like, oh God, we know this team, they're no good away from home. But at home, we were lions, yeah? I'm sorry, there's a reason.
At home, lambs abroad.
Exactly. There's a reason why that Australian team, the Steve Waugh Australian team, called this their final frontier. Because it was very tough to win a series in India. It had been that way. Now, though, teams are just coming and walking all over us and we're letting them. Yep. Sorry, the scars are running deep. And if you're the man at the helm at this point in time, then you're going to face the wrath. It's not just a case of deal with it. Sorry.
But then I saw in that PC two things that Gambhir had a cop-out. One, schedule could have been better. Boss, but you agreed and signed up on the schedule. Your board, tell your board that. Either the board is not telling you the full truth, or you conveniently are trying to find something which has not worked. But this will cause... Outside, they'll be the coolest team ever. But inside, they'll be fractured. Now, this will further serve as vindication for Gambhir, for Rohit and Virat. See, we told you. If you are the boss, if you want to boss around everything, and so I'll be blunt, the Gambhir school of thought is celebrate nation first. Milestones can take a back seat. But no, it doesn't work like that. You have to celebrate both milestone and a victory in the right context. For example, if you are final down in a 6-match series, I win the one game. It's a relief, but I will not celebrate it. You have ensured you're not suffered a 6-0 whitewash or a 7-0 whitewash or anything in that sense. But here, most of the fans celebrated Rohit and Virat, and they celebrate the match. They conveniently forgot the series. That, I think, Gambhir, in trying to sound direct, has ruffled a lot of feather, and looking at it is the first time that Rohit and Virat will be playing after that jibe.
And not just that jibe, by the way, lest we forget, there was also a certain deleted social media post that was doing a lot of rounds. It's not just this. And this jibe, this thing was widely interpreted on social media as being towards these two, and we know exactly why that's the case. But you've also come out at a time where now Vikas Kohli, Virat's brother, has openly said that this is what happens when you're trying to boss things around and trying to fix things which weren't broken. Yeesh. Could he be more direct? Of course, he deleted the post a few hours later, but how does it matter? It's the internet, boss. Everything is forever.
You rage screenshots, and that's it.
And I still have the screenshot in my phone. Yeah, screenshots. Once it's done, it could be out there for 5 seconds. Just needs one person to take a screenshot and you are doomed. And that's exactly how it is. So people are seeing it. People have known. And the fact that someone so close to Virat is speaking out in that manner tells you that there is a serious sense of bad blood. And truth be told, we've seen that before. We've seen signs of it before. Rohit also conveniently didn't give Gambhir any credit for the Champions Trophy win. Yeah. He said that this is the team that me and Rahul built. That's not a coincidence.
Yes, and that is where the sparks are going to fly. See, you may win matches, you may win a series, but I think the Indian dressing room will be a fractured dressing room. And with this 0-2 whitewash and looking at the past comments, the pressure will be there like, what are you doing? Why are you shooting off the mouth?
I'll add something there. I don't think it's been fractured now. I think it's been fractured for a while. Go back, cast your mind back to the Border Gavaskar Trophy, and what was the one thing that dominated the discourse more than the cricket? Fractures dressing room, divides in the dressing room, the leaks of, talking about Gambhir saying, "Bahut ho gaya, enough is enough." The whole Mr. Fix-It thing, we haven't forgotten. We don't have short memories, and trust you me, believe you me, guys, it's our job to cover. So it might be somewhere at the back of my head, but if I sit down and start thinking or going back in time, it will start coming back. And I remember that series. more so than the cricket, people were caring just as much, if not more, about what was happening in that dressing room. Ashwin retiring mid-series. There was so much going on, and the series loss felt inevitable after a point. It didn't matter that you had that one. That match was washed
Rained out in Brisbane.
It was Brisbane. It was washed out, so it didn't really matter.
There also, I mean, if you have to look at it, never celebrate a series loss, but you celebrated avoiding the follow-on.
Don't remind me of that. Good God, that was embarrassing to watch. I'm sorry, that was embarrassing.
I felt we were in the 90s. I thought I had gone back in time.
That you're celebrating avoiding a follow-on, really?
Yeah.
And it was pumping, fist pumping, everyone going, I'm like, what? So it's already a fractured dressing room. The fact that Rohit and Virat chose to walk away from Test cricket, sure, they had bad series. Okay, let's just mince no bones about it. They weren't great against New Zealand. They were definitely not good against Australia. But you're trying to tell me that if Rohit and Virat went to England, they wouldn't have scored runs. Yes, this England! You're kidding me? Pitches. And that bowling attack. Yeah. I mean, look, listen, I find baseball era England a little entertaining in a morbid sense, that I know that they're predictable, but they're at least, it's like watching a train crash.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be fun. It's gonna get destroyed, but it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's Schadenfreude.
Yeah, and not just that. I'm sorry, you were up against an England team whose best bowler consistently was Ben Stokes. Yeah. And that's not a slight at Ben Stokes. He's an all-time great Test all-rounder. But if they're all-rounder... Yes, thank you. He's your third change. And of course, see, again, it speaks volumes that third change can take a 5-wicket haul in a Test match. But if he's their best bowler in home conditions, what does that tell you about the rest of the bowling lineup? It was rubbish. You could have and that's not to say that they were rubbish per se, but I think a lot of their bowlers still kind of, at least the home ones, were of that seam and swing kind of mold. A Josh Tongue or a Chris Wokes.
Jofra Archer kind of.
Yeah, but Jofra's still pacey.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the kind of bowling lineup they have now vis-a-vis the bowling lineup they had against India. It's chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
It's absolutely chalk and cheese. So, that series, Ben Stokes was the best bowler, and you still only came away with a 2-all draw. Yeah. You came away with a lot of your batters struggling. Karun Nair sometimes looked at odds, he was being pushed up and down. Sai Sudarshan didn't cover himself in any glory. You still drew the series. You're trying to tell me with a Rohit and Virat there and maybe Kuldeep playing a few tests, you couldn't have won that series. You totally could have won the series.
You could have.
And that is the thing. The fractiousness is coming in there. We keep talking about 3 senior players walking away, but was that not due to the calls of this management? Was it not self-inflicted? Let's be fair.
This management came to take some tough decisions.
Exactly. They came with the mandate of clearing things out and starting over. But clearing things out doesn't mean you just get rid of everyone. There were still performances left. I still think even a Rohit had maybe a year or two of Test cricket left in him. Virat for sure. Even Ashwin, I think in home conditions, would have still been a very effective bowler.
Yes.
Well, you dropped him because you wanted someone who could bat.
Yeah. And he's retired from all formats now. He'll play all the other leagues, but ILT20 he didn't get picked.
Yeah, he got picked. BBL
got injured. So we have to wait for one more year for Ravichandran Ashwin to come. But yeah, Gambhir will now be confronted to the dressing room that is even more fractured after this jibe and this 0-2 whitewash. I mean, his time is running out. Honestly, Gautam Gambhir's time is running out at this point in time. But yeah, now let's shift our attention amidst all the doom and gloom.
So our producer Sharma was telling us that car was a Range Rover. At least that's his assumption. Very good car.
Nice. Wow.
No surprise. MSD does love his
he loves
vehicles.
His bikes and
loves
cars.
His bikes and cars for sure. But yeah, so that was saying, I mean, look, we've dissected the Test series a lot. We can keep dissecting it, but it won't make the series come back. Yeah. And I think this is one of the more unfortunate things, let's say, about cricket right now, is that it doesn't give you time to sort of digest anything.
Yeah.
You're just going with the flow consistently. There's always another series. There's always more matches. You just don't have time to breathe.
But don't talk about breathing in Delhi NCR. Please, I implore of you, don't.
Sorry, if next time I do that, I'll wear my mask.
Exactly. But then the Barsapara match, you don't see red ball for 9 months. Now we are only going to see white ball until June. Imagine. And starting it off is the ODI series that's going to start. And let's have a look at this ODI squad that was assembled, because that also created a lot of buzz, because you don't have a Shubman Gill.
Correct.
because of a neck injury that he suffered, and it was far more serious than we thought initially. We thought it was a spasm, but it's not. There is no Shreyas Iyer. Shreyas Iyer is only going to come back only around the IPL.
So even for that, I'd say it's touch and go, because that's when he'll start practice and everything. I think he'll play, but it'll be touch and go. And so he's also not going to be playing a part neither in this series nor even, of course, the New Zealand series,
And
which
also
are going to
the
be
T20
having.
World Cup.
See, T20 World Cup, he was never in. Sadly, I don't think he was going to be part of the squad, mainly because, again, where do you fit him in? Where do you fit him in? Honestly, you can't. Not in the 11. Maybe in the squad or the travelling reserves. Yeah, possibility. Now that's gone as well.
Can we have a look at the squad before? What I and Shane will try and do is make a potential playing 11 for one or two of the matches, because I don't know when the changes will happen, if the changes will happen. So, Rohit Sharma, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Virat Kohli, Tilak Verma, KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, Washington Sundar, Ravindra Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav, Nitish Reddy, Harshit Rana, Rituraj Gaikwad, Prasidh Krishna, Arshdeep Singh and Dhruv Jurel. So basically your leader of the attack potentially could be Harshit Rana and Arshdeep Singh.
Yes.
But then let's start with our openers. One name is definite.
Rohit Sharma.
Rohit Sharma is there as one of our openers. But I think there might be some debate over the second one.
There's none for me. I don't know if you're thinking twice. I am not. So let's first start off with one thing. Let's start off with the names we're definitely picking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Shivam, just open this thing and let's put down a few names for sure.
For sure.
Rohit Sharma has to be there.
Has to be there.
Okay.
Yes.
KL has to be there. He's the captain. Where we keep him, though, can change. Let's keep him at 2 for now. I personally will not keep him there.
No, he will be number 5.
Exactly. So let's keep him at number 5. Let's keep him at number 5. So you've got KL, and we can put the captaincy thing next to him, of course.
Yeah.
He'll also be your wicket keeper.
Yeah.
Now, the other
Virat.
ones. Yeah, Virat at 3.
3.
Obviously, Virat at 3 goes without saying.
Yes.
So Virat at 3 will be the other one who's for sure there. Now, I do think he should.
But
ideally he should. But
Jadeja and Kuldeep both are there. Okay.
no, and they also have got Washington Sundar, so you never really know.
I know. Oh, for that batting, that number 8 batting. Okay.
No, but number 8 batting might just be Harshit after what he did. So let's put Harshit. I think Harshit is a sure shirt. For sure. Yeah. ODIs, please, if you want that depth at number 8, he was batting number 8. He got you runs. So I think Harshit at 8 makes sense. You have to keep him bases. What we've seen, what the team management is doing, Harshit at 8 is also a guarantee. The other name, I think these are your 4 certainties.
4 certainties.
See, I would have had Gill, I would have had a Shreyas as well, but these guys aren't really playing. So these 4 are certainties. Now it's time to debate the rest of the 7. You want to
go? Second, who will partner with Rohit? I have a slightly left field. Why not a Rituraj?
Won't happen.
I know, because see, he's okay, because in the Ranji he's gotten injured. Then I think it narrows down to...
He got injured again?
Huh?
He got injured again?
That's why Prithvi Shaw was captaining in the Maharashtra team. Yes.
Oh, dear.
Now, you only have 2 left-handers who can step up. Yashasvi and a Rishabh Pant, because Pant was opening in the IPL. I would keep a Yashasvi then.
Same, I would also keep Jaiswal.
Then there is no debate on
There
that.
is no debate. I thought you wanted to keep KL as an opener. That was where the conundrum was
KL
coming. But I think KL is done perfectly fine at 5. Let's not tinker with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Jaiswal at 2 is certain for me. Virat at 3. Let's go number 4 now. Very easy option there, I think, no?
No, for me there's a bit of a conundrum there also.
Okay, who's your option?
I am going with a Pant.
Okay, I was going with Tilak, who seems a likely
Both
bet.
left-handers, but then again, Tilak, do you want to push him into the deep sea for after having played only, I think he's played only 1 ODI if I'm not
Doesn't
mistaken.
matter. This series is of fairly little to no relevance.
But if you want Pant, if you want to get him
Pant,
back for his white ball credentials, this is the best time.
So let's Shivam, let's do one thing. Let's put Tilak / Pant here. Since we can keep it this thing, if we can't come to an agreement, I think then we'll give Shivam the veto and we'll see who goes and we'll see what the prediction goes with.
Number 6,
I think Jadeja.
Yeah.
Actually, Jadeja will be at number 7.
Number 7, yeah. Jadeja will be number 7. Then 6 will be a Nitish Reddy. On current form, I don't know.
On current form, I doubt. Can we see the squad? Jeez, we are really thin when it comes to. Yeah, actually. Oh, you could be Jarrell. You could go Jarrell.
Could be. But then Jurel in this whole test series has been woeful.
He's been woeful, I agree. But he was coming in with good form. So I think it might be.
See, where did Pant, which number did Rishabh Pant score that ODI century against England? I just want to check that particular.
I think that was lower down, 5 or 6.
5 or 6. So with KL at 5, Pant, then it will be a swap. Either Jurel comes to number 4.
I doubt. I think Jarrell is better suited to being a lower order batter. One of the other things which I think messed with him a little bit is he was pushed up.
Correct.
He's better suited to being a lower order who can also mix aggression and mix his defense. He's good there. So let's just keep for now.
So he batted at number 4, Rishabh Pant.
Batter number 4, very interesting. Let's see, because then we've got Pant/Tilak at 4 anyway.
Yeah.
KL is there at 5 for sure. There's no debates. I think let's keep Jarrell/Nitish. I'll tell you why I'm not keeping Nitish for one very simple reason. I don't see the need for his bowling in Indian conditions.
Correct.
I do not. Let's keep Nitish there for now because you were suggesting him. But we'll come back to that one. Okay, Jadeja, Harshit are 7, 8.
Number 9 is another problem. Kuldeep or Washington?
Kuldeep.
For batting till number 9.
No, but you will bat till 8. You bat till 8.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to bat till 9. If you do that, this is a whole new level of whatever you want to call it. No, I think number 9 has to be Kuldeep.
Okay.
Yeah. Then that makes 10 and 11 fairly easy. Does it really? I'm not too sure.
Arshdeep is number 11.
Arshdeep should be number 11, but then you'll need another pacer, right?
Yeah.
Now, who that other pacer is? Normally, this would have been Bumrah, but he's not playing ODIs. So, who are the other pacers? You've got Prasidh. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, then Prasidh has to play, right?
Yeah, Prasidh has to play. Prasidh, Harshit, Arshdeep. Then Kuldeep and... see, they will need 6 bowling options, I'm telling you. Which is why a Nitish coming in makes more sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you don't really have other... Yeah, you're pure bowling here, right? Right now, you've only got 5 options.
Correct. And this team doesn't like 5 options.
No, they don't. The whole reason to play 8 batters is to give yourself 6 options.
Correct. So that is why I think at number 6, it'll be a Reddy.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you there. I was going with Jarrell purely as a pure batter, but basis how this team functions, remove Jarrell. It'll have to be Reddy.
Yeah, because see, this management has shunned specialists.
Yeah.
So you already with Jurel in, I don't need 3 wicket keepers. Now I have a wicket keeper option in KL. If KL doesn't want to keep, I have a Pant. I don't need a Dhruv Jurel.
But see, okay, now let's debate because I think, I agree with you with the Reddy thing. You need a 6th bowler, even if he gives you only 4 or 5 overs at most. You need that 6th bowling option. So Reddy comes in there. Again, you've got, and see, I think personally, there are other things they can do also. It wouldn't surprise me if they actually, as you said, dropped Kuldeep and played Washington.
Correct.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. I think it's a step too far, but it would also shock me. But I think let's stick with this for now because logically speaking...
Or another shocker. Pant gone, Sundar in. No Tilak, no Pant.
At 4?
Yes.
I mean, you've tried him at 3 in tests.
He's played at 3 for GT also.
He's played at 3 and he did well for them, I remember.
Exactly.
Batted well.
But I think that'll be taking it way, way too far. But yeah, the debate now is on Pant and Tilak.
See, my only problem with a Pant is that, when's the last time he played an ODI? It's been a while.
2 years. It's been, the last time he played his ODI, it was against Sri Lanka in Colombo 2024. 1 year ago.
1 year ago, and that was an irrelevant series.
Yeah, he hit a 6. And 2022, prior to that, at Christchurch, he played his last ODI. Prior to that. So in the space of 3 years, he's played only 1 ODI.
Yeah, that in itself tells me I don't think they're playing him unless they really have to.
But even Tilak, ever since that particular Asia Cup, if you look at his white ball form, it's been very patchy, Tilak Verma.
It has, but he's also someone who they're backing as a young talent, comparatively.
Correct.
So I think it makes more sense playing him.
He's played 4 ODIs, and the last of his 4 ODIs, okay, why is this acting turtle now, was actually against South Africa.
Fun. So I don't think I don't think that's the main reason, but you have to remember that Tilak, for everything else, has been a very consistent part of the T20 side. Yeah. So I think that will be the main reason they'd want to push him in. It won't surprise me, but I say they'll go with Tilak, very slight edge.
But if you get a Tilak in, I only have a wicket keeper. I only have one wicket keeper.
You normally always have one wicket keeper.
You are not a backup in the team. In case KL gets injured.
Do you? I mean, even if you go back to 2023, KL was your only keeper in the 11.
And you are praying that he would not break down.
I mean, of course you were, because he's had, God forbid, that the poor guy's had a lot of injury issues. I don't think you're losing that logic, but we've appeared at an impasse. So let's give Shivam the casting vote.
Panto Tilak at
Who is it?
number 4.
Okay, so I've been outvoted. So Pant it is. That's what we are predicting. Which again wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. I'm just saying what I would play would be a Tilak, but fair. But see, look at that. You're talking about specialists. 6 of your players are actually all-rounders. Sorry, 6. 6 are bowling options. You've got 3 all-rounders. Yeah, specialists. Oof.
5 specialists. That's all you need.
5 specialist batters and 3 specialist bowlers. Kuldeep, Prasad, Arshdeep.
Yeah.
And the rest all are there for your batting options. Yeesh. Interesting.
But then see, Harshit is your regular starter. He is the leader of your attack along with Arshdeep.
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
If Hardik was there, it's a whole different story.
There is no Dube. That's the thing. There's no
Dubey, they don't really, for some reason, they're not pushing him for ODIs.
Yeah, they aren't. So this is our playing 11. We had to think through a lot. I was like wondering, should I have gotten someone else as a opener? Jaiswal in the end became that opener. So say right, left, right, left, right, left. It's like gotten an equal mixture of.
It's 5 and 3, which is fair. 5 and 3. That's okay. You can't. If they by some chance end up dropping Kuldeep just to accommodate a lefty in Washington, I've had it with this management. Seriously fed up.
But again, I have one more option. No Pant, no Tilak at Washington. It could happen, my friend.
It could happen. I hate to say it, but that's actually possible. It's actually possible.
But okay, so that is the way we are looking at this playing 11. Remember, tomorrow there will be the press conference that will come. Let's see what KL Rahul addresses, what is the situation as far as everything is concerned. So yes, India have already started practicing at Ranchi. Today also I think there might be an end of the session press conference that is there. And tomorrow also you may have a press conference. You will have a press conference tomorrow because of it.
Yeah, that's a fair one. Since this is a recorded stream, what we can do is
comments today.
We're not taking any of your live comments, and we're sorry about that. But what we'll do is from yesterday's live chat, we had a lot of people dropping, a lot of comments, and let's try taking some of them. So you've got Komal Singh said that once Greg Chappell was sacked, the same Indian team won a World Cup in a month's time. BCCI must learn from history and sack Gambhir now.
Well, it is right, but then remember, you won the World Cup in a different format where nobody took you seriously.
And which was a very unknown, because at that point, no one really knew how much that tournament or that format could really take off. Yeah. No one knew.
But then after that, you struggled to win an ICC event for 3 years. After that, you won the ODI World Cup, then you won the 2013 Champions Trophy.
But then look how long it took for you to get your second T20
11 years. So that's why. We are out of an ICC tournament, WTC 2027. That's what Komal is saying. And this BCCI is giving excuses and defending a failed red ball coach. Shameful.
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand the defense, truth be told, because it makes no sense.
But honestly, that press conference, I thought, this is not the Gautam Gambhir I know. He's straightforward, he's blunt. Yes, he said that it starts with me. The losses, I am the first one to be right there, I will own up for it. I like that, but then how much more can you do it? And this is what somebody even upstairs, one of our colleagues upstairs suggested. Why not Amol Muzumdar?
I think it's too soon. A. B. Would you really want to move him over from the women's side? I think he's done a wonderful job with that team.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this thing where it seems like, the women's team coach can be changed on a whim just because you need. There are other
Matthew
options.
Mott will testify. He was the ultimate beast for the women's team. But when he came to the men, absolutely a pale shadow of himself.
Exactly. So coaching on both sides is a very different ball game. So truth be told, I'm not sure you should do that. And I think Amol has done a good job in that side of things. Let him stay there. You want to build a bit of this thing also, a bit of a dynasty legacy. Don't forget, you've also got a World Cup coming up again in a few months.
June.
T20 Women's World Cup.
Correct. So that is why if Gambhir departs and you get a Amol Muzumdar, and I think you're doing both sets, the women's team and the men's team, a lot of disservice with the chaos.
Exactly. I like this comment from Cars Are Awesome. They're saying that India didn't play to win the Test series at any cost. They were giving time to a team that can stay for a decade, which can't be seen by many Indians as we are more emotional rather than rational. If they'd played for a definite win or played safe, they could have played Karun Raya, Sarfaraz Khan and Abhimanyu Easwaran, but they chose the hard way. It didn't work due to just click read more please. I can't quite read the rest of the comment. It didn't work as Shubman is injured, otherwise the series would have been different. I don't agree with this comment respectfully. If you had played these players that you mentioned, you might actually have been in with a better chance of winning the series, and also more importantly setting up a little bit of a red ball core which you severely rack right now.
Correct, but then see, Sarfaraz didn't get a rope, he got a thread. It just was cut off.
Exactly.
After 3 failures. So I don't know where we are going at this point in time. But yeah, our test team is in the doldrums. Let's be very honest. Let us not mince words. We are in the doldrums at this point in time. And as a genuine Indian fan, Max Wilson is saying, as a genuine Indian fan, if they are not making any changes, the only way to show our discontent is by not watching the test series.
Sadly, I don't see that happening because we've seen all this talk of...
It doesn't make a difference. Because see, you hosted it in Barsapara, where attendances were a pale shadow of Kolkata. Kolkata, at least you saw 35-40,000 every day. Barsapara was, I think, 100th of that.
Yeah.
And you saw how we lost in Barsapara. And look at attendances. Your final frontier crumbled amidst empty walls. That's how it was. So, it's going to be... If you don't watch Test cricket, let me be very honest, the broadcasters and the BCCI just don't care.
Exactly.
They have never cared. In the future, they will never care.
So you've got this one other comment from Mangalam, says BCCI is not serious about this problem. Whatever happened will be forgotten soon if no corrective measures are taken. Indian Test cricket will sink further, especially in home conditions. Totally agree with you.
See, whatever it is, the damage has been done. You may win 4-1 or 4-0 or 5-0 against Australia, but that will still not guarantee you WTC final.
A fat chance you're winning 5-0 against Australia. Not a chance.
Yeah, that
Not
is in
a
2027,
chance.
by the way. So yeah, your Test cricket will only start improving after the 2027 cycle. Whatever is done, is done. Okay, so Padmini Radha is saying, I've been a Test cricket fan for so many years and unable to accept this alarming state in which Indian Test cricket is played today. Used to go to the stadium and watch the match unfold the whole day and then again wait for the next morning. Some tests we lost, but there was truth in the game. Game was respected. But today, is this Test cricket feeling very sad, disappointed, disgusted?
I think Padmini is putting across a sentiment that exists in a very large chunk of fans. I wholeheartedly agree.
True that. True. So yeah, Test cricket is not looking good. But then see, that's how the nature of the beast is. You are flooded with so much of cricket. This will once again be pushed into a footnote. Because now you'll focus on Rohit and Virat's contributions in Ranchi, Raipur and Vizag. Then you're going to do it. So, yep, that is the way when we look at it. So, yes, thank you so much, folks, for joining us. That's all we have for this edition of The Dugout. Sorry we couldn't take comments.
But if you guys leave any comments, we'll, the next time we come live and come forth with you guys for The Dugout, we'll take some of those comments. Our producers are very good in ensuring that we can actually get a hold of those comments, and we'll take some of them. So drop us a comment and we'll take your leave for now. But thank you guys so much as always for joining us. Please don't forget, like, share, subscribe. And from Siddharth, it is go right ahead.
Good night, Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables.
Don't trouble your mother, and subscribe to Sports Today.
Please stay safe. Bye-bye.